Thanks so much for meeting with us. Now we have a design meeting scheduled, or we're going to be asking you to call up to schedule your design meeting. During your initial meeting, we will have provided you with an estate planning worksheet. That's a very important document because it asks for basic personal information and asset information, but most importantly, it asks you to rate your level of concern for various areas. Now, you'll notice for married couples that we have different columns for husband and wife. That's because we acknowledge that husband and wife may have different levels of concern for different areas. Now, this is really important for us because estate planning is not usually about right and wrong answers. Instead, it's more about balancing pros and cons for different decisions that we might make. For example, sometimes a tax saving strategy can cause a lot of complexity, although it lowers taxes. So you can see that there's a pro and a con in implementing that tax saving strategy. We're going to try to balance that for you, and that's where rating your level of concern comes in. So if you could go through that, each spouse can go together, they can go separately, that's up to you. But if you could rate your level of concern high, some, or low, or not applicable, that will really help us to put together a proposal for you during your design meeting. Now we ask that you go through this worksheet and that you get it back to us at least 3 days before your design meeting. That will allow us some time so we can put together some diagrams. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And so as we go through those diagrams together, for learners that like to see a visual representation, that's going to make it much easier to understand how the plan will work for you. A lot of clients come to us from previous attorneys and they say, I had no idea what my estate plan meant. I looked in there and it was just a bunch of gobbledygook. Well, going over these diagrams together before we even give you the written drafts really helps to dispel some of that confusion. So we hope it'll work for you. Now, during your design meeting, we're going to make some really important choices. But don't worry about those. Instead, right now, just worry about documenting your level of concern. Right? We don't want to put the cart before the horse. So if you have any questions on the basics, you can get back to us. We're happy to answer those for you. Or you can actually just put a big question mark on your worksheet where you might have a question. That's okay. There's really no wrong answers. And then we look forward to meeting you. Your design meeting will be about 1.5 hours or less, can be just up to an hour if we have things pretty straightforward at that point. We encourage you to take that time to get your questions answered and to make sure that we have a good idea of what your plan will look like at the end of that meeting. Thank you.